Hello everybody, I am Husky Light. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for your likes and your subscribes and everything. I seem to have lots of subscribers lately, more than usual, so thank you. I really appreciate it. That's really good. I'm still going through my chakra series. I've put this one off for a little bit, but I'm going to jump right in and do it because today I wanted to talk about your sacral chakra, which is the one up from your root chakra. Now, if you sort of sit and put your tummy straight, it's about 3 fingers underneath your belly button, and that's where it's located. And I wanted to go through some of the things that happen, not some of the things that happen when it opens, but what some of the symptoms may be when it opens. I apologise if you can hear, it's not very 5D, is it? When you can hear my washing machine going. Not very out of this world, it's quite ordinary. Sacral chakra, if you remember from my other videos, when I think of it, some people think of it as flowers opening with petals. When I think of it, I think of it as a big lolly with a big swirl in it, and it's orange. So I think of it sort of not anti-clockwise, spinning clockwise, with the swirl going around the centre of it and coming out. A bit like a Catherine wheel. If you've seen a Catherine wheel on a wall on bonfire night, when it goes off, it sort of spins like that, and that's the power and the energy that comes from it. Now, when mine opened, I think it opened very quickly after my root chakra, so a lot of mine might have probably got mixed up in my head a little bit, especially when I didn't know what was going on. And a lot of the things to do with the sacral chakra, some of the stuff is quite similar to the root chakra as well, but I will go through all of them. Your sacral chakra is the part that evens up and equalizes your male and female aspects of you. So obviously, if it's not in balance, you would have problems with your male and female side. You might have more masculinity within you than feminine, or more feminine than masculine, which can cause problems. It can cause confusion, depending on whether you're male or female, or what, it can cause gender problems at an extreme scale, or it can cause little girls running around as tomboys and being very male, or you might end up in a very male orientated job, something like that. It also relates to your sense of taste. Now, when I started to give up meat and alcohol and smoking and all that sort of thing, it does affect your sense of taste. There are things that I'd eat that just didn't taste very good to me at all, whereas I used to love them. And again, once this is in balance, it actually does get you to eat healthier, and you can actually get to a point where you can taste colours, preservatives, chemicals within your food. You get quite good at being able to taste it. I know I had a drink of cordial the other day, and I've not had cordial, I think it was orange cordial, I've not had it in such a long time, and as soon as I had a taste of it, I was like, ooh, chemicals. That's all I could taste, was the colours and the preservatives and the E numbers, and it was really strange, and I just couldn't drink it at all. So your taste buds will change as things go along. It is the part of you that is, when it's open and healthy and everything, you're able to be in touch with your own feelings. You're able to express them in a healthy way, and you are also able to distinguish between your own feelings that are truly your own feelings, and other people's feelings. For example, you won't absorb other people's feelings as much. You won't and you will have more empathy for other people. You will be able to understand their feelings, understand if they're happy or sad, but you won't take them on as much as your own feelings. You will be able to distinguish between your own and somebody else's, and that is a far healthier way of being than absorbing everything that's going on around you all the time, because that is confusing, it's unhealthy, it's nasty. And sometimes as it's opening and you're clearing things and you're going through the process of opening things, you can actually absorb other people's feelings, and you can get very confused as to why the hell am I crying, why am I so upset, and you may realise later it's because your friend is upset, but they're not actually. Your friend is upset and they have their upset feelings, but they're not your feelings. But because you're not in balance properly, you're actually taking on those feelings as your own, and it's quite it takes quite a while to distinguish between the two sometimes, until you get used to it being open. But when it's good and when it's open, when you're in balance, then you've got a creativity to express your own feelings in a healthy way. You're not breaking down every 2 minutes, you're in control of your emotions, and you haven't got the mood swings that go up and down as much as they may have used to before it opened, or if it wasn't in balance. If it's not in balance, you can have really bad mood swings. It can also, just like the root chakra, it can cause codependency on other people. It can cause self-judging yourself. It can cause lack of creativity, lack of imagination, if it's not open properly, if it's unbalanced. It can cause, what else can it cause? It goes, because it's down here again and it's related with the root chakra. Again, we can have bladder problems, cystitis. Some people, it can affect in many different ways. If you're a woman, you could have fertility issues, miscarriages, fibroids, IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, aching kidneys, kidney complaints, problems with a menstrual period every month. Either they're irregular, they are too heavy, they're too light, and the mood that you're in before you come on, I know most women know, I wanted to bite the head off every person near me within a half-mile radius for about 3 days before I'd start a period every month, which is now I'm fine with it. It's okay. And yes, I still get stomach ache and I can still get a bit moody, but not to the extent that it was. You always knew just before you back off. It's like go into another room, you chew on. And also you would not be so regular every 28 days or however many days it is. I don't think it is something like 26 or 27 days you're supposed to be on. But anyway, as I said in the last video, it can cause physical problems that you can go to the doctor with, and it can cause disease and it can cause cancer if it's totally out of whack. And it's all these chakras are so important, and until the opening we really just don't understand how important they are, just because they physically cannot be seen in an x-ray when you go to the hospital, or you know, they dissect it and where's this chakra? It's not there. Just because you can't physically see them does not mean that they're not there and they're not important. They are extremely important, extremely valid to the way we live and to our health. And as I say, some people can go through life and they've opened their chakras slowly, probably without them even knowing, and they're in a good, healthy position. Whereas others, it will just happen as a result of surgery or trauma. I know when I did the talk with Christopher Bryan, mine was through trauma, his was also through trauma, but through surgery. and I think he was in a coma and woke up with it, and he'd completely changed and his chakras had opened, and it is sometimes trauma to the body. Now somebody asked me, how do you open them? How do you deliberately open them? Now that is something that I am going to look into, because as far as I know, it's got to be forced. I don't think you can do it by watching videos on YouTube. I don't think that's strong enough to be able to open your chakras. I think yoga is probably very good for opening your chakras. There are special types of yoga. I think Tantra yoga, and there's a couple of others which are sort of specially geared to opening up your chakras, and I will look into that and come back to you, because if I'm going to sit here and say this is how to do it, I want to make sure that I'm giving you the right information, so I will investigate it first. But also, as I said before, I would not recommend forcing them open, and I would not recommend doing it on your own. I would recommend that you have some sort of guru and even then be careful, but have somebody that you can talk to be able to do it. Now if I can figure out the safest way to open your chakras, then I will get a course together and I will do that, and I would be with you all the way through it, and it would be done at your own pace and slowly. I will look into that, but I'm not gonna, till I've got all the information, that's not something I'm going to go into now. What else is there? Bedwetting in children can be a problem if they're going through a stressful time, or their mum and dad's going through a divorce, or they're getting bullied at school, things going on. Bedwetting, and even in some adults as well, that can be a problem, and that can be a sign of your sacral chakra not functioning properly. I've mentioned codependency. You can be, it's a sensual chakra, it's very much a feeling chakra. It also relates to your sex, your sensuality as well. So there could be issues with sex, as in having a belief that sex is bad and you shouldn't be doing it, or being the opposite way, not wanting anybody to go near you or touch you and thinking it's bad in that way. Or another way it can go is, I think with the root chakra as well, it's you can be pushed into sex or coerced into it, and it's something you just go with. You may not want to, but for some reason, you do. And that is a sense of unworthiness. That is a sense of you not really knowing what your boundaries are. So again, this is boundaries. This is learning about what your boundaries are, and when to say no, when to say yes, and that all is depending on how comfortable you are within yourself and how happy you are within yourself. So, and yeast problems as well. Candida. So there's a lot of things again that can cause physical symptoms with it. And again, when it happened to me and I went through it, as it starts to open, all the rubbish and the crap and the conditioning from your life all starts to come up, and it all starts to want to be cleared. First of all, you've got to figure out what the hell it is you need to clear and what your feelings are. Why you're feeling so despondent, why you're feeling so depressed, why you're crying, why these fears are coming up. And once you are able to recognize what they are, just let them pour out, let them go. You might not get to understand until a while later what they were. Just let them come out. If you have to cry, if you have to scream, if you have to go stick your head in a pillow and hit a pillow, sit in your car and scream in a quiet place to get it out, get it out. That is how it has to come out. one way or the other. If you keep it inside, it's just going to create more feelings and more problems within your life and within your body, and it's so unhealthy. As I say, it can cause real physical issues with your body. Hopefully my microphone's all right. So that is some of the physical things that it can cause. Emotionally, excuse me, emotionally, you can have feelings of guilt, embarrassment, shame. You can have a really big mistrust of other people and not trust anybody. You can have become very, very impatient in situations, or waiting for things. You don't want to wait for things. They've got to be here, they've got to be now. Feelings of depressive feelings of expecting the worst, of everything's going to turn out bad, nothing's going to go right in your life, everything's awful. Not being able to support yourself, as with the root chakra as well. When they're in balance, you can support yourself, you can look after yourself, you can look after your children. Even if you're single, you don't need a man to rely on, or a partnership to be in. You are a whole person on your own, and you realise that. And when it's, when you want a relationship, or a relationship comes along, instead of that person stepping in and filling this void, this emptiness that you have inside you, and then you relying on that person to make you happy, to make you a whole, because some of you is missing, that's unhealthy. That's not how it works. That's not how relationships work. And I've done that a lot in the past. Before my chakras opened, I always needed somebody, already needed something, and it's not, you're a whole person. And another person will come into the relationship. You're two wholes, you both bring different things into the relationship, and it's a happy, balanced, equal relationship, and that's the way it should be. What else? Anger over past issues, tension. You could have mother and father issues, where you have a fear of your mother or your father. Now obviously, if there's abuse in a family, then of course that's going to happen, but I'm talking about an irrational fear of them. And you can have emotional overflows, where you just go blah and just burst into tears, and you don't know what you're crying for, or you're so angry, or you're so frustrated, you're so uptight, and it's not coming out. It's just all trapped inside you. You can deny yourself pleasure, deny yourself sexual pleasure, because you think you're not worthy of it, or it's wrong, or there's something not right with you. Now obviously, some of the ages that may be watching this are a lot different age, and they're a different generation to me and everything, but I've come to learn that sex is pretty sacred. It's a pretty sacred act, and it's a merging of two energies together. So be careful of who you're actually with, because some people can drain you, and others, you're helping feed each other's energy in a good way. So that's the way I look at things sort of nowadays, and obviously twin flames and all the rest of it, so I just don't anymore, and that's just my choice. Whereas somebody else who may also know they've got a twin flame may think, right, well, I'm going to have a relationship until that twin flame comes along, or I'm just going to have a soulmate or whatever. But the way I choose to be, I know, in fact I know who they are, so it isn't going to happen. Also, what else? I think that's mainly the physical and the emotional side of things. Again, if this is happening to you, it will be very confusing. You won't know what's happening. You'll be crying all over the place. You won't be able to function in your job properly. Your relationship may start to fall apart, because you suddenly realise that you're not in the right relationship at all. Or you're in a relationship that has got codependency issues, or you're not you're not two wholes, you're two halves trying to fit things together and it's not going right, all sorts of things. You can also overeat as well. You can have sorts of junk food, cream cakes, crisps, God, anything that's bad for you really, just overeating, which is sort of a soft addiction really, and that again is to fill the hole that you think that you may have inside you because you've got this empty feeling or something's missing. And a lot of people will, and I've done it myself in the past. I've been a size 16, 18 in the past. I've been huge, where you just keep eating because you're trying to fill this void, which is never going to get filled, because it's issues within inside yourself. But you do comfort eat, or what can do, in order to do that. And this is also a dysfunction of the second chakra. So this is, as we learn about this and as we're waking up and awakening and we're going through these experiences, we're becoming, you watch people like me on YouTube, you become more educated about chakras and what they do and what they're for, what their dysfunctions are. It all becomes very educational, and extremely important for some of these issues that are coming up. A lot of these issues, have we got the chakras open? Have we working? Even if your chakras are not open or you don't think they're open, as I say, because I am going to investigate, and I am going to maybe come up with my own program of opening chakras, but I'm not going to come out with this until I'm 100% on it. And I'm with you to do it and go through it. But even if your chakras haven't opened and you're watching this, just by hearing what I'm saying, you can see the problems that can come up when things are not in alignment, when things are not as they should be within your body. The physical symptoms it comes up with, the emotional symptoms that it comes up with, and the amount of how much healthier and happier you are when you're in balance with yourself. So we talk about, let's go to the gym every day and run 5 miles and things like that, and yes, that's keeping your body in shape, but this is about keeping your mind, your spirit and your body all in alignment, all together as one. So it's a lot to put together, and it's a lot. And once your chakras do start to open, all this stuff will start, if you allow it to, it will start to come up naturally for it to deal with. And I still have stuff come up today. I am not immune to going and overeating or getting naffed off or getting impatient. We're all still, because we're still learning every day, and I will still come across things that are going to come up that I've not healed properly, or they didn't come up properly the first time when I went through Night of the Dark Soul, that will come up. I don't know why I'm staring at the microphone when I'm talking when the camera's here. Never mind. That are still going to come up, and I'm still going to burst into tears or something, or have a hard time. And when the energies, our moon cycles, which once our chakras are open, we become extremely sensitive to the energies, the magnetic pull, everything that's going on around us, which can affect us as well. You know that we've just come through the Mercury retrograde. Thank goodness we are moving forward now. And me personally, I'm starting to feel like I'm starting to move forward again. But for the last couple of weeks, especially the week before last, it was a real trudge to get through. So again, it's not, once you've opened up, it's not all bright and light and fantastic. It is. You are so much happier than you were before, and you can see what happened, and you can see the problems in your life, and you can look at things from a different perspective, and you can see, you understand time more, you understand that the past, the present, the future are all pretty much the same. you know, once this is open in your third eye and everything, and you can see different dimensions, and you look at everything in such a different way, and you just know things. But some of your more important chakras are your lower chakras, because these are the ones that do give you support. These are the ones that are pretty much in control of things, and if they're out of whack, you're completely a mess. And we've all seen people in the past who just have complete breakdowns, and I've had complete breakdowns. I've spoken to people who have had complete breakdowns, and to a certain extent, if at that point their chakras could open, it could all be dealt with, and it could come up and be dealt with and cleared. But in a lot of cases, unfortunately, we end up at the hospital or at the doctors, and you get antidepressants, and it's all pushed down again with the medication, and you're all put back into your semi-trance, or let's just push everything down, and you end up speaking to therapists who don't answer you back. They sit in front of you really quietly while you're talking, and you're talking about things that you think are the problems without getting to the very root of what is deep inside you that needs to be cleared. So they are very important chakras, and they're probably the most horrible ones to open because there is so much within them. And depending on how old you are, if you imagine a 10-year-old opening his or her chakras compared to my age, someone who's 44 opening theirs, or 43, 42 when it started, opening that, there's a huge difference. There is not that many conditions and layers and problems for the 10-year-old to sort out. And you get to our age, can you imagine all those years of crap that we've been through, of splitting up and bad relationships and bad choices and bad jobs and bad decisions and bad parenting and government and all sorts of things, all of it, trying to get that up and clearing it. It's quite a big job, so the younger you are to do it is probably the better. I've said before, if they could teach this in schools, and teach them about it in schools, we'd have some very, very healthy, level-headed children growing up. Not saying that they're not, but I've got, you know, a son and a daughter, and they are, and they're great. But I would hate them to get to my age and then open their chakras and go through what I went through. I would rather, you know, them went through it when they were younger, because it's going to be less hassle, it's going to be less emotional, it's going to be less traumatic for them to deal with. So, anyway, I hope this helps. I hope this has gone through some of the symptoms. Again, as in the first video I did, if there's any symptoms or things that I've not mentioned, which maybe you have gone through, which I haven't, that can be added to this, it is a huge help to anybody who sees this now or in the future, who reads the comments below. So please comment and tell me and share with everybody, because all of this is helping everybody, and this is why I'm doing it. So, and I will seriously look into some sort of program where maybe we could open them in a safe, level way. As I say, sitting there listening to a YouTube video is not going to do it. And I know that there is certain yoga practices that you can do it with, and there is certain mantras that you can use, which I need to look deeper into. If I can get some mantras together, I will. And maybe do it on a one-to-one basis with somebody. So, comments below. Namaste. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that it helps. And again, thank you for all these new subscribers that are coming to my channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and it's great. And the more people that are watching this, then the more information we can get out to everybody. And this is not my channel. This is for you. This is your channel. So join in with it. Okay, thank you. Namaste.